Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another video. I'm back in action. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. Back from the dead almost. Had a tough few days after the COVID and flu vaccination, but pretty fighting fit now. Back to the videos, and once again my apologies for the delay. This is an unscheduled video that's basically I got sent this scenery by the developer and asked me to try and get a review out fairly quickly because they've almost sort of just released it. So here we are having a look at this. Where are we? We're in California. We're not far from San Francisco actually, and this is San Carlos Airport in California, Kilo Sierra Quebec Lima. This is a payware scenery by the team at SPINOZA, and this is the release version 1 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. The Xbox version actually will be released in the coming week beginning 14th of October. Today's the 13th, so in the coming week they'll be releasing an Xbox version for you. The download comes in at 922 meg and it installs at 2.3 gig. It's available from Sim Market, and you can get it for €19.92, which equates to roughly $21.80 or £16.68. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on where you are when you purchase the product. So there are no features listed as such, something I might talk to the developer about, as it would be a good idea to list the features for you. Let's go into the history. So, history for you. San Carlos Airport, Kilo Sierra Quebec Lima, is a public use airport located 2 miles, or 3.2 kilometers, northeast of the city of San Carlos in San Mateo County in California in the United States. The airport is owned and operated by San Mateo County and serves the San Francisco Bay Area. The airport lies just off US Highway 101 and is home to the Civil Air Patrol West Bay Composite Squadron 192. Next to the airport lies the Hiller Aviation Museum. The San Carlos Flying Field was established during World War I by one Mr. J. Paulding Edwards on a field north of Cordilleras Creek and east of today's Old County Road. A 300-foot-long or 91-meter hangar was situated along the western end of Terminal Way. In 1923, the airfield was taken over by the Cooley family. Charles P. Cooley was the primary flight instructor, and his father, Frank Cooley, operated the field. The Cooley family eventually determined that the airport needed to be moved because its proximity to the Phelps and Steinberger sloughs limited the length of the runway. The Cooleys opened another airfield at the present location of the San Carlos Airport in 1948. In 1952, ownership was transferred to Francis Michaud, who renamed it San Carlos Belmont Airport. Repair and administrative buildings were added, and plans were developed to lengthen the runway to 7,000 feet or 2,100 meters, although this never happened. In 1957, the field was renamed San Mateo County Airport. San Mateo County purchased the property in 1964, and today the airport is completely funded with user and business fees and receives no money from the county's general fund. San Carlos Airport covers over 100 acres or 45 hectares and is home to over 30 aviation-related businesses. Facilities and FBOs, or fixed base operators, at San Carlos include the Bay Aerial Helicopter Service, Fly Bay Area, JATO Aviation, Rabbit Aviation Services, Surfair, Zanet Aviation Insurance, West Valley Flying Club, Diamond Aviation Charter, and the San Carlos Flight Center. Aircraft weighing over 5,670 kilos or 12,500 pounds are prohibited from using this airport. Some have speculated that the airport's SQL code was a reference to the nearby Oracle Corporation, a maker of database software. However, the airport actually had been designated KSQL many years before this company was formed. As of May 2020, the airport handled over 75,000 flight operations, with some 323 aircraft being based on the field. Southern Airways Express is a regular carrier into and out of the airport. So that was history for you. Let's have a look at the single runway here at this airport. So runways. So it's 7:25 AM in the morning. As you can see, I've lowered the lighting down so we can have a look at the lighting around the runway itself. So San Carlos Airport operates a single runway, 1230, measuring just 2,621 feet or 799 meters, and is constructed from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of just 6 feet or 1.8 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -8 hours time zone. Now, like the UK, California does indeed observe Daylight Saving Time, or DST, and with the UK and California currently 1 hour ahead of their respective standard times, San Carlos remains 8 hours behind the UK. So runway 1230, both ends of this runway feature medium intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and abbreviated visual approach slope indicator system on the left side. So let's look at this closer. You can see the little flashing white lights here. That's the runway end identifier lights. You've got medium intensity runway lighting. You've also got a center line, which is not listed, but again it's perfectly acceptable here. Now here you've got this, something which I've not seen in a scenery before, but is absolutely correct, is the abbreviated visual approach slope indicator system, or AVASI, and it's on the left side. So you basically have two white lights. When you're on the glide slope you have a white and a red. So that's all correct, and it's also very nice here to see you've got green centerline lighting for taking off and landing or taxiing around at low light times of the day. So this end of the runway features an RNAV GPS Y and Z approach option only. There's no ILS. You can do visual approaches as well. But in terms of instrument procedures, you have the RNAV GPS Y and Z approach option for runway 30. Quick look at the other end, runway 12. So here we are looking down the float of runway 12, the other end, and as you can see, once again you've got the runway end identifier lighting system, the medium intensity lighting on the runway itself, and here once again you have the abbreviated visual approach slope indicator system. So very nice, everything as per the charts. There are no lead-in lights for either runway, and again that's as per the chart as well. So they've got this pretty much as it should be. So there we go, that's runways for you. There are no jetways at this airport. It's essentially a municipal airport with limited operating operations for certain aircraft only. So let's get into the daytime and do a real close-up tour and have a look and see what's among this scenery, see just how good it is. Okay, so welcome back. We're back in the daytime. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm starting up this end here, the northern end, basically because I wanted to show you not only the airport scenery itself, but the surrounding area. There's quite a lot of default scenery here, into which the airport has been mixed, and it would appear that some work has been done by SPINOZA as well to enhance some of the off-airfield bits and pieces. If you look at this shot here, you can see the roads here in 3D, and you can see the cars and this building here, and these are sort of what appear to be default buildings, but there are slight enhancements that have gone on here. Okay, we've got trees sitting on the road here, so everything's not perfect, and sometimes it's quite hard to tell what's been done by the developer in terms of enhancement and what's the default. But generally, with the exception of the trees on the roads here, this whole area looks pretty nice. So as we head towards the airport, as you can see, notwithstanding those trees sitting on the roads, the locale looks pretty nice. And here as we get towards the airport now, let's just drop a little bit lower. You can see that, there's quite a lot of default here. And we'll just sort of cross over the various airport areas. Let's just bring it down and slow it all down a bit. So you've got helicopters, sort of sitting at various places. Here you can see the taxiways, all nicely laid out, and some nice buildings. You've got people as well. Look, there's a construction worker site there. It's really nice. They're just general little bits and pieces. There are open hangars with people inside as well, I might add. This is a very nice sort of general aviation airport that looks in pretty good shape. There's nothing fancy, it's just been nicely done. If we go into the tower, here you can see even the internal part of the tower has been modelled, which is very nice. So lots of little light aircraft, buildings all nicely weathered and textured. And here we get back to the default area as well, some of which looks good, some of which doesn't look quite so good. So a quick look at some of the taxiway signage and markings. As you can see, everything is there. You've got blue airfield edge lights as well. The taxiway signage, runway markings, they're all correct. There you can see the runway end identifier lighting system flashing away. And there on the eastern side of the runway you've got the signage as well, all as indeed as it should be. So as you can see, you've got some photo ground here and some enhancements, which generally looks pretty good. It really does look nice. And you've got lots of nicely detailed buildings. They've done a nice job, and you've got various people as well scattered all over this airport, which brings it to life, something I really enjoy. On the left there you've got the bus park, which is default scenery. And here you've got default as well, sitting on the side of the edge there. Aircraft hangars. By and large, the airport modelling fits pretty well with the default, and the default isn't as bad as it might be, to be honest. So we'll just pan across the airport here, and then we'll have a close look at some of the little features for you to look at. As you can see, plenty of model light aircraft. Here's the fuel station. Oh, I wonder what that was going on there. That is something, don't quite know why that's doing that. So here's the Sky Kitchen restaurant. You've got a couple of nice static people there. Again, nice modelling on the building. And there's another view there. The cars are a bit low resolution, but it works okay. And there's an overview of this area. You've got the rotating beacon there. Not sure if that is lit. We'll have a look when we go to the darkness hours. And here you've got the car park with various cars, some of which are pretty low resolution, but in a way that helps the frame rate and sort of keep things down a little bit for you. But it all looks quite a nice little scene. Lovely palm trees here as well, typical for this part of the world. So here are the fuel tanks, and you've got this engineer sitting on the top there. And in the distance there you can see one or two aircraft in the covered hangar. There's a little tanker waiting to go in. You've got a little marshaller there too. So a little shot across this apron. Again, plenty of parked light aircraft. You've got one aircraft over there in the hangar. And there it is, sitting in its own hangar with a couple of guys there too. Not sure about the propeller. It looks as though it's turning when in fact it should be stationary. So we head across to the other side of the runway, as you can see there, below all the various taxiway signs. This is the Aviation Museum. Here's a high level shot showing you the museum generally as it looks. As you can see, various aircraft. There's a helicopter there. Ground signage has been nicely modelled. Plenty of people, which is good to see. And there's your helicopter, a couple of light aircraft and various people taking pictures and enjoying the scene. And over here you've got a nice little outdoor scene where people are sitting and chatting and presumably enjoying drinks and bits and pieces. You've got a police guard there by the gate, and I think what we've got here is parallaxing on the buildings. Let's see if we can have a close look. Okay, what you've got is not parallaxing as such. The glass or the effect is designed to reflect what you see. What you're looking at is a reflection of what's behind us. And there's the other building featuring a similar sort of effect, really. So here's a shot land side of the museum. As you can see, you've got the car park with cars in it. It's all been nicely modelled. The building looks quite good. You've got a few people, as to be expected. And the signage and the buildings look pretty impressive, to be honest. Very nice indeed. We've got US Highway 101, the big freeway behind us. There's another look here. You've got animated flags at various points around the airport, and there you've got what looks like, can't remember the name of that aeroplane, but it's a push prop model, and it sits on top of the museum there. And looking in the other direction, here you've got this little hotel kind of building here. Nice to see these signs. This is Highway 101. And just looking back across the airport, all in all, it's a lovely little airport. You've got some nice modelling, some very nicely done buildings, and the airport itself has been really nicely modelled and designed to fit in with the default, and quite a bit of default around here that actually doesn't look too bad, except when you get really close. I'm interested to see what this looks like at dusk, and we'll come to that very shortly. Let's just have a few more quick looks at a few little highlights around this scenery. So here's a look at the rear part of that building on the left we just saw, and also you can see here you've got workmen installing solar panels on the roof of this building. Again, really quite a nice little scene. You've got various bits of default scenery as well, which don't look too great when you're up close, but to be honest, it could be a lot worse. There's a quick look towards landside. It's nice to see the palm trees swaying in the breeze there. Not much of a breeze because I haven't set any weather, but they are moving, and that's another nice little effect. So a couple of Bell Jet Rangers there. I think these are default models, but they're fine. They look perfectly okay, nicely placed. There's also one over there on the other side of the runway. Out here you can see in the distance. So one or two more engineers there just by the airport with the Aviation Museum itself. And here you can see you've got a plethora of various hangars and stuff for you to park aircraft in. There's one open hangar here that you could probably use. Let's have a quick look at it. So there you are, a big open hangar, certainly big enough to get a Cessna or a light aircraft in there. You've got an American flag animated there, a couple of guys on the other side of the hangar, and looks like a full set of service equipment for you to use as well. And just another shot showing you should be able to taxi literally straight into that hangar. And here's the other side, so you could probably taxi straight out again whenever you want. Okay, so there you go. We've had a nice little daytime look at this little airport. Lots of little feature things for you to have a look and discover. Let's drop the lighting now down and see what it looks like at dusk. Okay, so here we are. It's just after 6:30 PM local time. It's mid-October 2024, just to give you some idea. And here you can see the way it looks at dusk. Lighting came on about 3 minutes ago. And you can see, as ever, it's very subtle. It's not been overdone. All of the things that you need to see have been nicely lit up. So let's have a close look at some of the features here. So here's the hangar we looked at a moment ago, and as you can see, this has been beautifully lit. I really like the way this has been done. The signage is lit up. You've got the doors and things, you've got all the appropriate lighting, no really weird light sources. It's really, really nice. There across the runway in the distance you can see other hangars with down lighting on the outside. Very nice. So as we move across to the east side of the runway, as you can see, green centerline lights, taxiway signs all lit up nicely. Hangars on the right hand side there, there's lovely lighting, really is lovely. So we get down a bit lower, let's have a look at the main building here. Some very nice lighting that's been really nicely done. So there you can see our rotating beacon, and it is indeed lit correctly for night time, green on one side, white on the other. And here we are land side of this building with the restaurant with us. It's just lovely, it's very, very nicely lit there. Once again, another little airport that looks really nice at sunset with the appropriate lighting just to give it some atmosphere. So there you can see the building from the airside side has been given some parallaxing. Unfortunately it's a little bit low resolution. The further you get away the better it looks, but even here you can see it's a bit and unfortunately we've also got vehicles going through the scenery. But it still looks really quite nice. I still like it. I like the way it's been done. I don't know what can be done about the vehicles. Some developers are good enough to be able to reroute the vehicles and sort them out so you don't get this kind of thing. This scenery just seems to suffer from it a little bit. But for the moment we'll kind of ignore that. It's the scenery itself I'm interested in, and I really like the way the lighting has been done here. So just a high level shot there showing you some of the lighting on the various hangars and the airport light itself happily turning away there on the left. Very nice view with the moon in the distance. So let's go across to where the museum is. I would think by this time the museum itself is actually closed. But as you can see, you've got this lighting on the building. Now we're quite far away, but even though this is low resolution, it looks pretty reasonable here. It's quite nice the way it's been done. The effect is quite nice. It works pretty well. Museum itself, the signage is lit, and you've got all of these hangar lights and signs that are lit as well, which I really like. And then as we look down the taxiway, all of the hangars have various little bits of ambient lighting around. It's great, it's lovely. This will be a nice place to fly into at night in the evening. So here's the view at DUSK landside. You can see various cars going up and down there. Here's the museum, all nicely lit. Very subtle, the signage is good, and you've got this building right next door that's also got parallaxing on the windows. And there we're looking down the throat of Highway 101 to the right there, which goes into San Francisco. So here's a closer look at that building known as the SKYWAY Center. There you can see the parallaxing's been done. It's a bit bright and a bit brash in a way, but it works reasonably well. No unusual light sources. Looks good, it really does. So just looking towards the threshold of one of the runway ends there, lots of subtle lighting going on, lots of little buildings and bits and pieces that have been lit up here and there. It all gives the right effect. I really like this scenery, certainly at dusk. And there in the other direction, it just looks nice, it really does. Considering this is a small scenery sat right in the middle of quite a large bit of default stuff, I think it works pretty well. I'm quite pleased with it. So that was dusk. Let's get it down to night time now. Okay, 10 PM local time, and as you can see the sun is completely gone, and here's the way it looks at night time. Lighting has come up here and there in various places, and it still looks pretty good. I like the way that these landside areas here are lit. It's not been overdone. Still got the signage that's been lit as well, and again it's not been overdone. You've got parallaxing on the buildings, and there we are looking across the airfield. The lighting on the various hangars has come up a bit and looks really good. And looking in the other direction, once again, more lighting around and more little bits for you to explore, and the night time should you wish to do so. So just a quick tour across the runway to the other side. As you can see, it's nice. It's really nice. I like it. So here's the restaurant that we looked at before, which to be honest looks a bit better at night. From here, the parallaxing, low-res parallaxing doesn't look quite so bad. It looks pretty good actually. It's a real pity we've got these problems with these vehicles. I don't really know what that is or why. But everything else looks great. You know, you've got your turning lights. Here's some lovely lighting on the buildings. So just a shot looking across some of the hangars. Here's my aircraft. This is my Cessna 172 Classic in the VAP Air colours, sitting on the ramp, one of the parking spots. And once again, just another view. Got my aircraft in the foreground and the rotating beacon on the right hand side. I mean, visually it looks very nice. No real complaints at all. And there's an overview of the close airport itself, looking from the east side. So that was night time. There's probably more for you to explore, which I will leave it for you. Let's bring the dawn up. Okay, 7:30 in the morning local time, and as you can see the sun has come up behind us and we've got this beautiful glow on the buildings. I must say I do find this, with the vehicles going across through the buildings, I do find it a bit disconcerting. Also, that one appears to have come off the runway. I'm hoping that it's not traversed the whole runway. I don't know if the developer can do anything about this or whether they're able to, but that would be it's not really a showstopper, but that's something that's quite a bit annoying, certainly from where I'm looking at the moment. But as you can see, a nice little scenery in a nice area. San Carlos, halfway down San Francisco Bay. It's a really nice little airport. And there in the other direction, we're looking north. San Francisco's up here. You can just see the lights flashing there, the approach lights to San Francisco International. But all of this looks very quaint and very pleasant. And just a final shot towards the sunrise. Oh, it's beautiful. Certainly this time of the day, it looks very pleasant. It could be fun to do some early morning flights. Okay, 10:30 in the morning, time to wrap up the review and give you my thoughts and conclusions. What do I think? It's nice. It's not as good as some of the airports they've done. There are things that I'd like fixed. Certainly if they could fix the vehicles issue, that would be great. We're also looking at a situation where this airport sits pretty close to quite a lot of default scenery. They've made a few enhancements here and there. Some of them work really well, some of them don't quite work so well. On the plus side, the airport is nicely modelled and detailed. There's lots for you to have a look at here, and there's lots actually to give the airport ambience. The presence of people, engineers, staff in various points around the airport give it some atmosphere, which I like very much. During the daytime, the buildings are all nicely weathered and modelled. You've got hangars for you to park your aircraft in that you can actually taxi into. The road system's good. They've done some 3D road modelling off airport as well. All of the buildings are fully weathered and textured. There's a lot to like. A small airport that could be fun to fly in and out of, and maybe a great place to go and explore San Francisco. On the downside, as I say, the default scenery is pretty close. Some of it looks dreadful. Some of it, you've got some trees as well obscuring the roadways which have been modelled, which is a pity because that, they've taken the time to do a bit of 3D modelling, and the trees are kind of obscure it a bit. But they've done something to some of the buildings as well, off airport, which works. The signage looks great. The runway, lighting, NAVAIDS all work as they should. Interesting to see the abbreviated visual slope approach system in use at this airport. Not seen it anywhere else yet, certainly. but it works, it's correct, and yeah, I like it. Is it worth €20? Just under $22? Probably just about. I would like to see a little bit. I'd like to see a few of the little issues fixed, really. I'd like a bit more work done on this airport. You've got helicopters there that are default models. Realistically, I'd like to see custom-made ones. And it would be nice if they could tidy up some of the default here within the airport boundary. You've got this coach park here. It's all default. The coaches are all badly modelled, sitting into the ground. It would be nice to see that all done and really improved, so that within the airport boundary here, you have full 3D modelling, where the default has been turned into 3D modelling. For me, that would really bring it up. But you see here, you've got trees overlaying the roadway. It's just, in a way, it doesn't work. When you look at some of the places on the airport up close, the modelling's lovely, but the rest of it just doesn't kind of work. But as a little airport on its own, it's really nice. It's a nice little product. I think it's probably worth nearer, it's probably worth nearer €17, maybe $19, a couple of euros cheaper. But at this price, I mean, if they were able to remodel this area to bring it up to spec, sort out the tree issue and sort out the vehicles, then we're getting pretty close to what I think the scenery is worth. Just my opinion, by the way. This scenery was sent to me by SPINOZA. I'm in partnership with them. Whenever they put a scenery out, they ask me to review it, and my comments are my own. They're not influenced by the developer. They're always my own. But generally these little sceneries are very, very nice. I will put a link in the description below to the SimMarket page where you can view the other products that SPINOZA have brought out. If you're interested in these kind of airfields, they've done quite a few of them, over 40. And this is their latest one. It's out now on SimMarket, came out this weekend, I believe. And yeah, it's nice. I like it. I'm not going to rave about it. It's not the best, but this airport is a little bit unique, sitting in San Francisco Bay, and as I've said, it could be a nice little place to take your helicopter or your light aircraft out and explore San Francisco and the local area here. So there we are. It's San Carlos Airport in California, Kilo Sierra Quebec Lima. Payware scenery by SPINOZA, and this is the release version 1. It's come out this weekend. It's available for sale right now. Download is 922 meg and it installs at 2.3 gigabytes. It said it's available from SimMarket, priced at €19.92, which equates to roughly $21.80 US, or £16.68 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course may vary depending on your purchase. Now, SPINOZA like to try and keep their sceneries below €20, and that's in a way that I like the fact that they try to do that. They want to try and make their sceneries affordable. And this, as I said, is a nice airport. No real problems to sort of crow about in terms of flying. But it would be nice to see this area, this default area, included within the airport, brought up to the same quality as the rest. Sort out the trees, and if they can sort out the vehicles bumbling across the airport, that would be a huge improvement. But I still like it. And also note the other really good plus is this airport is coming out next week, in the week for Xbox as well, so you Xbox pilots will get to enjoy this too. So there you are, folks. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot. I'm back with you again, recovered from illness. Thank you for watching this. My thanks to SPINOZA for sending me this, and my apologies for the delay in both you and to SPINOZA for getting this review out, but I've not been well. But we're now fighting fit, and I'm going to produce this video today, Sunday, the 13th of October, just to get it out for you. It should be available in the next couple of hours. So thank you for watching. I hope this review has helped you. Again, my thanks to SPINOZA for choosing me to review their sceneries, and I hope you enjoy it. Look out for 2 new videos this week. What was not done last week will be brought out this week. We've got a full review of Johannesburg, and we'll have a look at that. There are some serious issues with the jetways, but that will come up in the review. So join me later in the week and have a look at those reviews and see what you think. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, have a good weekend, the rest of it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.